Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. I'm Matt and we have an MGB in the shop today. We've got a laundry list of stuff to do. I've made some notes. Let's see. Front brakes, tighten the belt, oil change, gearbox oil, diff oil, the horns don't work, the hazard switch doesn't work. I've got an AGM battery, there's a tube, we may talk about that. It needs wheels and tires, wiper blades, plugs. Check the valve clearances, check the dwell, check the timing, check the mixture. It's got K&N air filters, so we're going to be removing, cleaning, and re-oiling those. So there's a lot to do. So we may be doing this the next couple of weeks. But anyway, we're going to start today with just a simple oil change, drain and fill the gearbox, and the same with the differential. And we'll move on from there. So stick with us as we take care of this. It's already on the road. We're just doing some maintenance that needs to be done. It's a little overdue. And we'll go forward from there. So enjoy. Okay, engine oil in an MGB could not be simpler. You've got a fill plug here, and the oil filter you can actually access from the top. So jack up the car, get it on jack stands, or if you have a lift, obviously do that. This is a safe place to jack it up, so you want to look for kind of frame rails. Usually on MGBs there is a jacking point on the side of the car. I like to use the frame rail in here. It's partial frame. I know it's a unibody because I'm just always worried that that it's going to crush if you use it on the outside. So not a bad place for a jack. Make sure you use a jack stand also. And then from there, it's as simple as pull the drain plug and let the oil out. It helps if the engine is warm while you're doing this. The oil will flow freer. Beautiful. Texas tea. Okay. All right, we'll let that drain for a second. We'll come back. Alright, once the oil is drained out, move your drain pan out of the way, tighten that bolt. And snug is enough, guys. It doesn't have to be super tight or you're never going to get it back off again. And I know that the drain plug for the transmission is right here. There's an overdrive right behind it, so I need to pay attention to that too. But I don't like draining engine oil or any fluid. In fact, I don't like draining it without putting it back in before I move on to something else. It reduces the chances that you're going to forget about something. So let's go up and get the filter. We'll take care of the oil and we'll move on from there. Okay, an MGB oil filter's right here. They don't all look exactly like this. And some of them won't turn just like this one. Okay, I've got a drain pan down under there. This is going to lose some oil. Okay, with that oil filter out, we're going to do a cross-reference and see if we can find out what filter it is. Always double check that because it's not necessarily the same filter for every MGB. There's a lot of conversions that have been done. Okay guys, so I did a cross-reference on the filter and it turns out that it is a Fram PH3600, at least in this case. Again, always double check the number on the filter. It's pretty common. Most of these conversions use a filter like that. There's a shorter one, like on my GT6. It's the same screw-on type filter, it's not as long. Capacity is probably a little bit less, but you need that in order to make the filter fit. So just make sure that you're looking at the number on the filter, compare it to the one that you're putting on. You want to make sure that you're using the same filter. So I'm going to run and grab one of those now. It doesn't have to be a Fram. You can put that into Google and hit cross-reference, and it'll give you the filter numbers for a number of different companies. So Napa, CarQuest, pick your brand, it doesn't matter, but make sure that that number matches. I'm going to go grab one, we'll get it in this car and get the oil finished. Okay, so if you ever want to get the filter off again, it's a good idea, get some fresh oil, just lubricate the rubber gasket on that filter, and while you're putting on the new filter, make absolutely sure that the old O-ring from the old filter has come off. Otherwise you're going to have a double gasket and it will fail in spectacular fashion, and it'll spill oil all over your floor. So way I always was told with oil filters, get it just kind of finger tight, turn it another quarter to a half a turn, and it should be good to go. Come on. If you've spilled as much oil as I have, a funnel is an excellent idea. And with some of these old British cars, you want to pour it slowly, because you may find that the valve cover gasket leaks. You may find that the valve cover fills up faster than the oil drains into the rest of the engine. So you don't want it to back up and make a mess on you. There's always going to be some extra going to the filter, but you want to have a rough idea of, do you have about the right amount of oil. So this is showing us a little bit overfilled, which is perfect, because once it gets into the oil passageways and into the filter, we should be good to go. So put the cap back on. We'll start the engine for a few seconds until it builds oil pressure, and then we'll check it and make sure that it's topped off. Always watch the oil pressure gauge if you have one. It's building up right now. I just want it to reach its peak. Come back and check your oil again. We are right at the top. Oil is nice and clean, and we are good for another few thousand miles. Okay guys, that's it for today. It's as simple as that. Again, if you haven't done an oil change on a car ever in your life, and you're thinking about getting one of these and you're worried about the maintenance, don't worry about the maintenance. Basic tools are all that you need for most of what it is that you need to do with these. So you just saw an oil change, you want to do that every 5,000 miles or so. I change mine more often than that, but for most people that's once a season. Technically in the fall is what I would do. You don't want to leave combustion byproducts over the winter, but anyway, that's a different story. But change it once a year, you're generally good to go. Enjoy the car. So if you need help, or if you've got questions on yours, go ahead and post it in the comments below, or get in touch with me by going to www.midwestmotoring.com. And outside of that, I'll see you guys soon. Happy motoring.